So hi and welcome back, and I'm down by the river just gonna explain what's happened. I did a talk to camera the other day when I was out taking infrared photographs, and then I noticed on the side of my face I had this huge speck of shaving foam and it was kind of ridiculous, so I thought I'd come and reshoot. Now that's not the only reason I've come to reshoot. The other reason was I was shocked at some of the shots I got when I was photographing, which would have been Thursday, and I was just really quite taken aback by what I got, and I took the film over a matter of weeks. It just didn't have time, the light wasn't right, and then I think it was Thursday the light was really good, so I decided to go and take the rest of the film, and then I developed the film last night, and the results are just really good. They're actually mixed. I did a mixture of some on a tripod, some handheld, and I know I've entitled this one, use a tripod. Well, the best ones I got were when I actually did handheld, and I'll explain how I did that when I talk about the photographs when you'll see them. It's really difficult for me to film and photograph at the same time, so I find it really difficult, especially after what happened to me a few years ago with my camera being stolen and stuff like that. So I really struggled with that. So what I did was I developed this Rode infrared film in Rodinal at 1:50 for 12 minutes. So you know how I did it. And I used a infrared filter. I didn't use a red filter. Red filter, you can get some of the effect of infrared, but it's not like the full infrared impact. So that's what I did, and I just want to go through with you now some of the photographs I've taken and say I'm really quite pleased with them. Okay, before I start to look at the photographs I've taken on the infrared film, I did promise someone a video on my handheld light meter. I will be doing that. I just haven't had a chance to get that done, and I just wanted to show you what I've done. Out of the 36 shots, I've scanned 24 of them, and they're not actually in the order that they were in. Some of them are in a different order. So anyway, I just wanted to show you a few of them and see what you think as well. There's a couple I'm going to leave till last because I was just so pleased with them, but I want to show you other shots that I've done. I love working with infrared, and you really need to work with a tripod with it because it's difficult to do handheld. Having said that, half these shots were taken handheld, half the shots were taken with using a handheld meter, and half were taken some of them were taken using the onboard light meter on the Olympus OM20, and then I put the actual filter on over the top, sometimes holding the filter over the top after I've focused. And I think to give you a demonstration of that first, I'll show you two shots. This one here was taken when I had on a tripod, and I focused to the plant and then put the infrared filter on, and this is the result I got. It's not really it's quite low in contrast. It's not as striking as I wanted to be, but it shows you a good reason to have a tripod. And then I did this shot, and this one was handheld. It's kind of it's not quite in focus, but another thing with infrared is you never know quite what you're going to get, and you'll see in the actual flower on this plant they're completely blown out, and there's no way of telling, absolutely no way of telling about how much infrared light is there when using the film. You just have to literally do the thing where you basically do your light meter at 25 ISO and shoot to that, and then put the actual filter on. So there's no exact science to it. Unless you know an exact science, please let me know. So I'm just going to do a few more, and I went down by the river as usual, and I've got these soft edges again. I don't know what's going on. I need to check my lens. I don't know if it's something to do with my macro lens or what, or if it's the actual thing I use to hold the actual negative in place. I think it's going to be more likely that, but after I've done this video, I'm going to check the lens to make sure there are no issues with it, because I'm concerned that's what it might be. The other thing is I always leave these to the last moment. At the moment it's 4:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, the day it's going out, so I always tend to leave things to the last minute. Okay, I did try and take one of the graveyard. It's okay, it's nothing brilliant. You've got nice little white trees either side and the tombstones, and they're out of focus. So as I say, it is so difficult to work with. And I see a famous YouTuber photographer had one of his cameras converted to infrared, and it looks so easy, but this way it isn't easy, and I prefer doing this way to convert. I couldn't afford to convert a camera to infrared anyway, and that's why I prefer to use the film. And it's quite inexpensive. It's about £6 or £7, which isn't that bad at all. Okay, let's take a look at a few more of these. And this was taken on my 28mm lens. And what I do is, if I'm going to go handheld, I take the light meter reading, I focus to infinite distance, and then put the filter on, and then just take the shot. And it's a lady with 2 kids feeding the geese and the ducks, and it's come up really, really well. A little bit cluttered, but that's still nice. And then we've got this one here, and this one I was actually talking about this in the original video about why there's no point in you taking a shot with trees and leaves if you're looking at shade, because they won't have that effect, the desired effect you need. They need to be in bright sunlight, and this just goes to prove it. You can see along here, and it's great to see that the red on the actual life belt is actually gone white as well, which is quite cool. Okay, let's do a couple more. Which ones should we do? Here's 2 consecutive. One of them is slightly underexposed, and one of them is slightly perhaps overexposed. So a slight difference in the two. That one's slightly darker. You don't get the infrared effect as much as you do when it's like that. So it's hard to say which is going to be the best one for me. I mean, I like this one more than the darker one, but that depends on what your preference is. Now, when I was working with the wide angle lens, it was a 3.5 maximum aperture, and that was the problem. It was basically working at maximum aperture continuously, which means you're going to get soft edges. This was taken with a 50mm lens, though. That wasn't taken with a 28mm lens. So and there was a shot I just did a guess at, and it didn't work, but you can see the potential of what I was trying to do. And that's this one. I was trying to get the life belt through all the darkness here, but I got camera shake, so it didn't work. And I think that's the thing that I like to do, is I like to show you photographs that don't work as well, rather than the wonderful stuff. I want you to see the stuff that isn't that good either, because you don't get consistently good results in any form of film photography at all. You know, you don't get it in digital either. And I just wanted to show you the stuff that didn't work as well. But it shows you the idea I had to do this shot. Yeah, so I actually do like people in my shots in infrared. It kind of gives it a really, really weird kind of look. And this one, you can see that edge isn't soft. So I'm thinking it's now the actual setting I've got on the actual holder, and I'm not going to say what the holder is I use, but not impressed at all with it, to be honest with you. And it cost about 40 quid, and it's meant to hold them flat, and it doesn't always hold them flat. So there's that one. And what's next? Again, I went from another angle, a bit further down, kind of like this composition, and especially with the geese what are they swimming? Well, what they're doing, but anyway, you can see the geese all in a row there. That's what I was trying to capture. So I did a couple of these, and you can see obviously the Swan Hotel and the tree that's outside there. I don't know what sort of tree that is, but it really gives a really lovely white glow to the shot. And this is the other one. I literally had to rush it. I literally had no choice. I didn't even get to check the light meter, and look what happens. Get a really, really stunning shot. I'm really pleased with that, but it's not the two that are my favorites. I'm going to show you those two now before I finish, but that is, I really, really like that. Okay, so now it's going to go for the two that I like the most, and this is one of them. I was very tempted, but I didn't, to clone this out. It's one of the signs telling you where things are. but I decided to leave it in so you could actually see it as it was. If you're going to my Instagram, pro_film photographer, you'll see that on there as well. But what's great about this is this, I was just so lucky. I'm not going to say this was done through any knowledge of my own, thinking I know I can work this out and I can get it exactly right. It was serendipitous. It was just a happy accident. But I've not only got the lovely whites, excuse the car in the background, lovely whites on this tree, and it gets darker, but you've not lost everything to shadow in the trees in the background, and that's really quite unusual. So that's one of the ones I'm going to get. I'm actually going to get that printed to about 16 by 12 for my room, and I'm going to replace I've got some Doctor Who posters up which are kind of getting a bit tatty and boring, and so this is going to be one of the ones that I'm going to have as 16 by 12, and the other one is this one. And I was like, when I saw this, when I was editing it in Affinity Photo, I was like, I could see how good this was. And I say I like people in the shot. You've got some people walking here, and just look at the whites, and I just really like it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this, and if you want me to do, I've done one on how I do, the technique I use. I just wanted to show you these shots, but if you want me to do any more on like the techniques I use to do this, please let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and you can buy me a coffee if you'd like to. Anyway, speak soon. Thanks. Bye.